We're learning from companies who do it right to teach companies who don't. So that's what we're doing today, and this topic is so incredibly important.
We invited Robin Ely to kick off our program by giving us her observations about the culture of overwork that increasingly affects companies throughout the country, and the reasons why it has been so hard to get business leaders to address a situation that threatens the retention and advancement and productivity of their workforces. It's not just a women's issue, it's not just a work-family issue, but it's really one that affects all of us.
Fundamentally, a fulfilled life is one that has both work and love. But we have somehow split these up between men and women, and that both men and women are suffering as a result.
The way men take care of their families is to basically ratchet up at work, and the way women take care of their families is to ratchet back. But it's not, broadly speaking, true that that women kind of unambivalently leave the workplace and want to go home and take care of their children. They feel they have to because they don't see how to put it together, and that's the option that they have. They can either stay at work and be a bad mother or not a mother at all, or have no life, or they can leave and do what the culture tells them they should be doing. And the same for men. They might like to be more involved emotionally in their families, but the culture says, no, the way you take care of your family is to work harder and to get that promotion and travel more and make more money.
We're going to talk about overwork from both a personal perspective, because it impacts all of us, as well as a professional organizational perspective. What do you know about overwork in your own company?
We've been selling work-life flexibility for both genders, and we also have studies from Ellen Galinsky. She's come to speak at Cardinal Health, and she's explained that the stress level for men is even greater.
The technology tools have made it that we're accessible all the time, 24/7. And as a result of that, I think that if we don't create boundaries around that, we can overwork.
A lot of companies put a lot of things in place to help you cope with it, but it doesn't really necessarily address the overwork issue. And I will say, I think we're a little bit guilty of that at Discovery. But we do have a great suite of offerings to help people cope, since we, at this point in time, don't really see an end to the overwork, though I'd love to find a solution.
To paraphrase Donna Shalala, we should be paying people for their judgment, not their stamina.
So the life and professional services firms is almost diametrically opposed to this idea of flexibility. And as we've heard from the different speakers today, a lot of the solution around this is around intentionality and intentionality around culture.
At our core, this issue of overwork is one that is really a consistent theme, because work, and I would say more specifically stress in the hours that you do work, are one of the biggest downsides to working in consulting and at Bain. 5 years ago, we were pretty focused on women's issues. Right now, we're very, very focused on sustainability for everyone in the company, from our 22-year-olds to our 55-year-olds, and making sure that this work life fits in with their goals, which are different for everyone.
You've heard that Eskimos have 50 words for snow. It feels like Bain has 50 words that all mean balance. We have dialogue and control and balance, sustainability, triple the dialogue, red teams, green teams. We have this very deeply ingrained culture of talking about ourselves and our happiness in the job, essentially. And a lot of that is related to overwork. People say that they choose us because we're very flexible in matching each phase of their lives. We are able to sit down with an employee and say, what is the next 6 months of your life at home going to look like? And how should we try and make your Bain experience fit together well with that?
It's not overwork if you like what you're doing and you're doing something that matters and you're developing relationships with all these people you interact with, such that I don't feel like they work for me. They're my friends. We think we get better work out of people who are just happier in general, and anything we can do to get the best possible product from our people, then we need to try to make that happen.
We're so committed to believing that the way that standard practice is best practice and that, the way it's always been done is the only way it can be done. And I think it does take a leap of faith to start thinking differently. And I do think that's the challenge that companies are facing today.
What worries me about this whole work-family narrative is that it has taken, it's an explanation that makes it difficult to feel like there's anything you can do about it. Sort of like, it's just the way it is, like of course women are gonna want to go home to their families, and of course you have to work all these hours in order for us to, stay in business and be competitive. Those are the assumptions that I think need to be questioned.